So, what if I told you there's a single powerful idea that connects a chess grandmaster's winning move to the very code that keeps your phone from crashing? Well, there is. It's called strategic foresight, and really, it's all about the art of playing through time.
I mean, really think about it for a sec. How do you win a game where every single move you make could change everything down the line? You know, in any high-stakes game, whether it's on a chessboard or in a boardroom, it's almost never about one single brilliant move. Nope. Victory comes from the entire sequence of your decisions. It's a chain of cause and effect. The real question is, how do you master that chain?
Well, it turns out it's kind of like charting a really long, complex journey. You wouldn't just jump in your car for a cross-country trip and pick a random road, right? Of course not. You'd look at the final destination on the map first, and then you'd work your way backward to figure out the very first turn to take out of your driveway. And believe it or not, strategic thinking works the exact same way.
And that brings us right to our first huge idea, the power of foresight. But here's the crazy part, the paradox of it all. It's not just about looking ahead. To figure out the absolute best way to move forward, you actually have to start at the end and reason backward. Now, let's be clear, foresight isn't about having some mystical crystal ball to see the future. Not at all. It's actually a super rigorous logical process. Think of it like this. You're mapping out this giant tree of possibilities, every single move, every potential reaction, every countermove, all to find that one golden path that leads you straight to your goal no matter what your opponent throws at you.
And this quote really hits the nail on the head. The key phrase here is a complete strategy. We're not just talking about a clever opening move. No, this is a full-blown, comprehensive plan. It's a plan that has an answer for every possible situation at every single stage of the game. And the most important part? That entire, beautiful plan is built by reasoning backward from the win.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do we, actually do it? Is there a practical tool for this reasoning backward thing? You bet there is. It has a name, and it's an absolute cornerstone of game theory. It's called backward induction. So here's how you'd actually use it, step by step. First, you lock in on that final winning outcome. Let's say it's checkmate. Got it? Okay, step 2. Figure out the one single move that guarantees that checkmate. Then, you work back from there to find the move that sets up that move. You just keep doing this, stepping backward through the game, one move at a time, until you finally land on the absolute best first move you can make right now.
All right, so this whole backward induction thing, it's so powerful, it's actually the foundation for a whole bunch of formal methods. So let's go ahead and open up the Strategist Toolkit and take a peek at some of these formal methods for mastering these kinds of multi-stage games. So as you can see, backward induction is just one tool in a much bigger kit. Game theorists have this whole range of concepts they use to tackle these super complex multi-stage problems. We're going to touch on a couple of the big ones, like sequential equilibria. That's all about making sure your strategy is consistent. And dynamic programming, which is amazing for handling uncertainty. You can think of these as the heavy-duty engines of strategic thought.
Okay, let's zoom in on sequential equilibria. What does that even mean? Well, in plain English, it just means your strategy has to make perfect sense at every single step. You can't have a plan that's considered optimal if it forces you to make a dumb move in the middle, even if the end result is good. It's like a chain. Every single link has to be the strongest possible choice you can make in that exact moment.
And this is a great way to see the difference between two of these really powerful tools. Think of backward induction as your go-to for finite games with clear rules, like chess. You know all the steps, you know the end goal, it's perfect for that. But dynamic programming, that's for bigger, messier, more uncertain problems. It's more like trying to navigate a whole economy, where you need a flexible formula that can handle all sorts of chaos over time.
And you know what's cool? These tools are constantly evolving. For scenarios with even more uncertainty and randomness, we're talking things like predicting market trends. Strategists use even more advanced methods, like fully probabilistic design, that build probability right into the model. It just goes to show you how deep the rabbit hole of strategic thinking really goes.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, this is neat, but it's for chess players and economists, right? Well, what if I told you that this exact same logic is the bedrock of the digital world that we all live in? From time and logic to code, it's all connected.
See, in computer science, there's this whole field called temporal logic. And its job is basically to prove that complex systems, I'm talking about things like your computer's operating system or network protocols, will do what they're supposed to do over time. Reasoning about behavior over time. Sound familiar? It's literally another way of playing through time.
And here it is. This is the mind-blowing connection. When a computer scientist asks, does this system satisfy this formula? They're really asking the exact same thing as, is there a winning strategy for a player in this logical game? It's wild. You can think of the code as one player, trying to reach a correct state. And the universe of all possible inputs, that's the other player, constantly trying to force it to crash. It's the same logical puzzle.
Just let that sink in for a moment. The very logic that ensures your favorite app doesn't crash on you is fundamentally the same logic a grandmaster uses to corner a king in a chess match. It's all about finding that one perfect strategy through a sequence of states and decisions over time. Absolutely incredible.
Okay, let's bring this all back down to earth. We've talked about grandmasters and computer code, but what about us? How can we apply this? Well, let's get back to that idea of charting your own journey.
Because here's the most crucial point of all. An optimal strategy in your career, in a big project, in any major life decision, it isn't just about the next step. The best choice isn't always the one that feels easiest or gives you the biggest payoff right now. No. The best choice is the one that sets up all of your future choices to lead you straight to that final goal.
And so that really just leaves us with one final, very personal question for you to think about. If you were to really use this power of foresight, this art of reasoning backward in your own life, what is that final destination you're working back from? What's that goal that's so important it should define every single step you take to get there?